Kirsten's already shaking her head now, going, I can't believe you just said that. Because I saw a heart in the shape of a cloud yesterday. And then there's another two that are fighting, that seems to be those ones that you initially had, BM. Those other ones. It might be a bit dark. Yeah, they're still going. These were the first lot, right in front of Chitwa Lodge that we saw. Now, because these two hippos are so far out, I reckon that those are probably young bulls down that way that are too old to be with the pod now, and they're just playing with one another because it just seems to be the two of them. And they're just enjoying each other's company. Kind of torn between which way we're going to go. We might actually have to go. Okay, we are going to go now because there's something walking here. There's something that's really upset all the birds. And I don't think it was that owl, because that owl sort of flew a little bit more east, and now there's some guinea fowl that were alarming sort of east, but I don't know, something. But now going this way, going a little bit more west. Whee! Through the dip. We went through that quite quickly. And I think so we'll go down this road, we'll go down the cut line of Chitwa, through this little drainage, that same one we were just in now, just a little bit further on, and then we'll check there's a pan, check if anybody's gone to drink there. It'll be quite muddy, and we'll come back around. So I think that's what we're going to do, but we need to kind of do that while we've got a little bit of light. I'm sorry, I know you all absolutely love seeing the hippos. I also do, especially when they're playful like that. But the last time I saw a cat was the Torchwood Pride. I don't even know how many days ago that was. So I'm feeling like I need a feline of sorts. I'm going to just check and scan around as well, just to make sure that nobody is on the move and sort of moving along through those pathways. It's that time of the night that all the sleepy cats will be up. Although it wasn't very hot today. I know it was 28 degrees Celsius. It didn't feel like that once today. I suppose I didn't spend much time outside. I hibernated today. Hibernation. Estivated, sorry. 24. I don't think it's 76 Fahrenheit and 24 degrees Celsius. I feel like it's definitely a lot less than that, because I don't think I'd have my jersey and scarf and stuff. I'm even getting a bit chilly, like I didn't bring enough warm clothing. So I don't think, obviously, the temperature is not factoring in the chill factor, because there is a bit of wind, and that definitely will drop the temperature. So to me, it kind of feels like it's maybe 19 or 18 degrees now. It's that cold. Right, anyways, off we go back to Steve. He's moved away from Buffelshoek Dam. Perhaps he's going to look for Tandy.
We have moved away. Lost connections with that giraffe. He has moved away from the dam. I think he mysteriously got water in his mouth without touching it. I have no idea. He lost interest and moved off. Maybe it was our presence he didn't enjoy so much, but he's moved off without drinking. So we've come around the other side of the dam. We would like to follow up on Tandy. Maybe we'll find her. I was thinking it's possible that there might even just be something in the area that he's smelling that's sort of keeping him from putting his head down for too long. It's kind of a lingering smell in the air of something predatory. Maybe it was Senzo. He did just have some chicken before we got on the vehicle. So maybe it was him. I'm not sure. It definitely wasn't me. But it has definitely dropped a few degrees. I mean, even though the temperature feels like it should be the same, but there's like a lot of moisture in the air. Oh, sorry, Kirst. I didn't get half of that. Ravinda, if we relocated predators here, the ones who would probably do best are probably leopards. Leopards are very, very resilient, very able to sort of move and adapt. If you had to bring lions into this area, they'd have to deal with the prides that are already here, and that could end in tears. Cheetah really do struggle, because they don't only have to deal with the other cheetah, they have to deal with all the other, the lions, the wild dog. But in saying that, wild dogs seem to have a good success rate because of their mobility. I bring them in as an established sort of family or pack. and a beta and all that sort of stuff, alpha male and female, and they could probably do quite well. We seem to be losing some signal up here north, and while we try and move on from here and get our signal back, let's go back over to Taylor with the hippos.
Right, sorry about that, everybody. We're back with us. We've just gone a couple more meters around. No luck just yet. I found some guinea fowl, but they're quite far away. So I just want to check. Do I want to go down there? Do we want to go down there? Okay, we'll come back. Because I don't know if those were the guinea fowl that were maybe shouting and now just run this way. So I kind of want to check where the guinea fowl have come from also. There's no tracks on the floor. So nothing hinting that somebody has been walking here. Let's just go in. Let's go see what's happening if that barn owl is around, because I definitely saw it fly. Joy, I don't know where those lions are that keep leaving tantalizing tracks, as you so put it. The Avoca males which walk down Cheetah Cut Line are in Hoffman's apparently, so they could come back at any moment. I haven't heard any roaring or any chatter on the radio. And then, so I saw something fly now. I don't know what it was. I wish whatever would fly would just fly into a spot where we could see it. Then what else? The Nkuhumas are on Elephant Plains trying to catch buffalo. That's the update that I managed to get. And the Torchwood Pride, well, we had them yesterday morning crossing into Buffelshoek. I don't know if anybody has actually gone looking for them or found them on Buffelshoek on a buffalo kill. Remember, their tracks were on top of the buffalo tracks. Just going to see if we can have a look here. Yeah. And also not drive off the edge of anything. Yeah. Then we have to do that thing where, do I go forward or back? We're gonna go over the edge. Oh, it's a tough one. It's not great, but that is the nest. I think that barn owl is in there. Can you see? There's an adult in there. I'm almost 100% certain. I'm gonna put the spotlight on now, but I'm pretty sure I can see the faintest movement. The only thing is I can't see. There we go. There it is. I'm behind some trees, so it's going to be a bit shaky. Let me sort of rest this on my head. There. Not great, unfortunately, but you can see there's definitely an adult inside. There's one of the chicks to the left. I think that Tristan said there were 3. I've never actually seen barn owl chicks before. They're so cool, they're looking around. I don't know, maybe they're not the chicks, maybe they're the adult, maybe they're not the adults is what I was trying to say. Maybe they're just the chicks. Okay, I'm just going to drop the spotlight. I want to open my bird app, and I'm going to just sit up slightly. Sorry everybody for shaking. What I'm going to do for you is I'm just actually going to rest my arm and get in and underneath the trees. I was in an awkward spot where I couldn't see before. There we go, that's a bit better. Now I can hold it a little bit more steady. Come on, let us see your faces again. Owls. I really don't know much about barn owls at all, except they like to roost and nest anywhere where humans are. They always used to nest in the lodges, but you could never quite see them. Owls, western barn owl. Let's see how long it takes for them to go to a chick where they start resembling an adult. Breeding success. Nope. Molt. Now the guinea fowl are going crazy at the dam again. Incubation. Oh, very short, eh? And just over a month. Incubation period. So there we go. Development and care of young is what I'm reading now. But where does it tell me? Nestling period. 45 to 55 days. Okay. They fledge. At what age? I suppose they fledge at that time, hey? Doesn't really say. This app's not actually giving me much at all. Anyways, so maybe these are the youngsters. Just like that, like the one to the left had sort of very fluffy plumage in comparison to that one that we can sort of see that seems to be quite neat, although I mean, they're not particularly big birds. The western barn owl, they're smaller than the spotted eagle owl. I'm pretty sure in sort of height, and also they're not as bulky as the spotted eagle owl. These guys are probably about the length of a ruler, so maybe just over 30 centimeters or so. And they're not, like I said, not a very bulky owl at all. Just having a look. It's very difficult to see. They're very curious. Hello. I wish we knew exactly what was going on there, and if we could see anybody. Some, you said that they were comical to watch. I suppose when you've got a really good view of them, then yes, it must be amazing. And so I can't remember who retweeted an image of one of their friends who had owls sort of that had nested right outside their window, and they've got the 3 owl chicks looking inside them. Yeah, I wonder if these aren't the little chicks now, and they've just sort of growing up and getting ready to the point where they might fledge. I mean, when did Tristan find these owls? Maybe about 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. So there we go. So they should be getting to that point now. We've just read about I'm sure they only, I don't actually know. I'll have to do some research. I'm now making up stories. But look at all those little heads. So I think that those are the 3 little chicks in there that are not so little anymore, that have grown up a fair amount. Maybe you can compare screenshots from when you had them with Tristan to now with me. And remember, they have to grow up fairly quickly too. Now, Gail, you've asked to see a picture. Shall I show you a picture? Do you want to see what an adult looks like? Well, I suppose we're lucky to be able to see them now. So I'll do that for you. I'm also sitting like I'm doing yoga at the moment. Here's a picture. Sorry, I'm just tapping it, otherwise it disappears. So that's an adult. There's an adult flying. There's another one of an adult flying. Beautiful. I wish I could take pictures like that. Oh, there's the chicks. Oh, very nice. So there we go. Now we can actually see what the chicks look like. See, that's what I actually thought I'd seen, but these must be very, very young. What else? Oh, look at that one. Oh, those aren't pretty birds. There we go. For what, guinea fowl? Wait, hang on. The guinea fowl are alarming right here. Please don't travel for age. Let's quickly go through and have a look. What are you guys shouting at? I bet there's a leopard just walking circles around us. It's probably Hosana. Or please be a snake on the road. That'd be cool. Ow. Whoops. Now? What are you shouting at? I'm going to tell the viewers what you just said about me, Kirsten. Are you ready? Do you want to hear the mean things that I have to endure? I cry myself to sleep every single night. Kirsten has just said to me that they were just shouting because they were looking for attention, like me. That's not nice. You're probably right. Don't also send Kirsten hate mail, otherwise I'll be upset. She was just joking. But yes, the guinea fowl are shouting for what reason, I have absolutely no idea. They're looking into the bushes. Let's go to the bushes. See how they're pointing in here. What are you pointing at? Speak in English, please. Yeah, maybe it's going to be another caracal now. Maybe there was a snake that's gone in here. Let's see. Look, they're walking towards the shrub. What is in here? No. A little bit of light. I think it might have to be a snake or something. Now, what guinea fowl and other ground-dwelling birds will do is, when they do see something like a snake, they often surround it. I'm sure you've all seen those pictures. Chickens do it too. No, there's something in here, VM. Let's go find it. Let me go around. Oh, this car's gonna stop starting soon. I can feel it. Where's it? Where's the snake? Where is the snake? Show us. This one is going right into the bushes. See, and also the guinea fowl are not really running away from me. Okay, now I say that, and then one. Oh, panicky Patricia, aren't we? Yeah, I think it may have been a little snake that went in here. In fact, that they didn't really want to run away from my car, which they normally quite happily do. And I can't see any cat eyes, I can't see any raptors. So I think it was a little snake that was here. That's what they were alarming at. Goodness, we're surrounded by wild bush chickens. I'll keep scratching around to see if we can see what has startled the guinea fowl. Let's go across to Steve, I think we're going to, and see if he's managed to find signal.
We have got signal, and we're going to switch off for a moment and just listen to a white-browed scrub robin from the left here. It's on this side. Oh, it's actually this side. Beautiful call of the white-browed scrub robin. See, it's a very melodious 3-syllable call, and it's repeated. And it will change to another 3-syllable call, which then again is also repeated. Now I'll show you a picture. It's a very nondescript sort of bird, and this coloration is quite camouflaged. Very easily overlooked, but they like to call in the mornings and the evenings. And here, Sens, if you can come back to my screen, hopefully we can get a nice little look at this very beautiful streaky chest individual. There he is. The beautiful white eyebrow, and that very streaky chest, and very good of the scrub robins when they, or characteristic, their tail goes up like that. So that was one of the more common calls. I'm going to play the call for you now that the phone shows you. See, it's quite different. And that's not in 3s, that's in 4s. But it's very similar. Jump. Nice jumble of mixtures that he gets there. So a marvelous call to have in the afternoon as we're settling down. And we do have the spotlight out, we do have the lights on, and we will be probably going into infrared soon, but not just yet. Senzo will give us the instruction and we'll chat with FC about that. And we are in the area, the last vicinity that we saw, or there were tracks of Tundi, but nothing of yet, not even any animals alarm calling, which, as you know, is quite often the giveaway of these. But we're just hoping to just keep working these roads, and maybe we'll get her out walking on the road, showing her beautiful self to us. Laura, do leopards and lions ever go to the ocean? Well, I've never seen one at the ocean, but I've heard of, live by the ocean. I don't know if lions or leopards ever live by the ocean. I don't have any lions that are anywhere near the ocean these days, but there's a good chance, and it's something. There is a story down in wilderness, down in the garden route, South Africa, down close to a town called George, where they had tracks of a leopard down on the beach, going down to the salt water. Not quite sure what it did, because it walked down to the water's edge and then went back up again onto the shore. But no one saw it happen. There were just tracks. So I know on the west coast in Namibia, the brown hyena and the jackal actually survive off of carcasses and fish and seals that get washed up on shore. So it's not a bad way to scavenge if that's what you're looking for, off of ocean sort of debris. But I've never heard of a lion down by the coast. But lions were shot out of the Cape probably 150 years ago, 200 years ago already. So there's none down there anymore, in the open anyway. And most lions in South Africa these days are confined into reserves with fences, and if they're allowed to just sort of roam the beaches, and there'd definitely be some human-wildlife conflict if that happened. I think it would be wonderful to see a lion walking down to the beach. Wouldn't it, Sens? Sens is nodding. He'd like to see one. Okay, well, someone's found a nocturnal predator. Let's go over to Taylor with her owl.
Look at what we've got. It's quite cool. In fact, we have not got another barn owl, but we have a spotted eagle owl, which is the one I was just telling you about. Very, very cool. Sitting up in a tree. Perhaps today is going to be the day of owls. And I was just saying to VM that the last time that I'd actually seen a barn owl was in 2015 in the southern Sabi sand while working at Sabi. But this has to be one of the most common species of owls throughout South Africa. You see them everywhere, and they're actually frequent visitors, as I suppose a lot of the owl species are, to towns. So most of the time, especially if you're living along the coast, very sadly, you'll often find spotted eagle owls dead on the side of the road. But I suppose that happens all over the world. Roadkill, something that I don't think anybody does on purpose. And you can see them also in your living in your house, and if you've got any big trees, they're a frequent visitor. They're really cool. Once I've read quite a funny story. I was getting ready to go on a really long bushwalk. We were walking for 9 hours that day, so we all met at reception early in the morning. This was years and years ago, and it was sort of, there we go, as it flies off. That's beautiful. It was just starting to get light, but the sun hadn't broken just yet. And then the next minute, nibbling away. Next minute, was it a scrubhead? It may have actually been a Smith's red rock rabbit, in fact, because there were lots of Smith's red rock rabbits. I think it might have been a little rock rabbit or something like that. And the next minute, as we'd said that, just bah! This spotted eagle eye flew out from nowhere and took this little rabbit or hare. I forget what it was. It was crazy though. Well, it was a really amazing sighting, because I think it was like the first time I'd ever seen an owl catch anything. Okay. Oh, they're the hippo. They're out. They're so cute. I don't know if we're going to get it from here. It's so far away, but on the island, they got all the little hippos. I'm hoping they go out again. There they are. Hello. Those are the ones we saw playing. We'll try and get closer. I just wanted to show you quickly, because they are going to move back to the water. Look at that little one on the right. Shame it's so tiny. That only must be about 3 months old. That's very small. The one slightly older, and the big one that's bullying everybody at the moment, probably around 6 to about 8 months old. I'm just guessing at the moment. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, let me try and go closer for you so it's not so grainy. Obviously, we're exceptionally far away. Oh, yay. And then what I was going to tell you is that our guinea fowl are just shouting and have just been shouting, so perhaps there was nothing. VM seems to think that the guinea fowl were rioting. What were the guinea fowl rioting about, VM? Equal rights for guinea fowls. I also agree. It doesn't matter if you're a fowl or not, you should be given the same rights as everyone else. Okay, I'm going to stop there before I get myself into trouble. Obviously, we're talking complete nonsense. That's not what these birds are doing. I don't know why they're cackling away. I'm just also checking it. Sorry that I'm not looking at any of you, in case I don't miss Tingana. Maybe he's come out and he's sitting on the wall below. I'm scanning. Oh, you weren't even looking at me. You're looking at the birds as I slowly drive over the damn wall. Okay, I think we could be close enough now. Some more hippos are actually climbing out of the water. I'm getting comfortable for the show. Here's all the bye guinea fowl. Happy resting. They're going to go and watch the hippos. Now they're also going to watch the show. There's a whole pod of them playing around there. I wonder which poor cow has got stuck with babysitting. Because they don't look like there are many adults there. Majority of them look like youngsters, all biting one another's bottoms. But again, we are in infrared, so that's the black and white that you can see. And these hippo are very, very far away. So, and that's why it's a little bit difficult. Sorry, I'm just turning the car off. I can hear that fuel pump still going. See, 1 or 2 adults there, but not many. Now, something that's definitely going to happen all over is the water level that is dropping. So yes, Robbie, that's it. Well, that's what's going to happen. Well, I suppose as long as we don't get any more rain, and the dams are just going to dry out and get less and less. And the water levels do drop quite drastically. They fill up fairly quickly, but my word, they disappear just as quickly as they fill up. That hippo's gone exploring. Be careful you don't bump into Boris or Vladimir up top on that island. They like to hang around there. Perhaps they're going to annoy the water thickneys. I like that hippo's call. This is very funny. I love that they all have a different call too. They're not all the same. A different tune, if you will. But a very, very nice scene here at Chitwa Dam. But unfortunately a little bit too far away, Heavium. Oh, it's not great. It's not ideal. Okay. Right. I'll probably put my spotlight on him. We have one last scan down here to make sure that there wasn't a leopard. I don't know. I think the animals are just fooling us, but either way, I think we won. We got to see spotted eagle owl, we got to see 3 barn owl chicks that now look like adults, and then guinea fowls cackling. Very cool. Off you go now, back to Steve, who's on a drive. Steve, are you going to find a chameleon before I do? The challenge is on.
Well done for spotting your eagle owl. But what's so funny is that we ran the last 2 mornings, Luke, myself, and Conrad. Luke's working in the D2. He's fielding all your questions. Oh, wow. Sorry, that's a chin spot batis that I was shining on there. Oh, poor little bugger. He's just roosting there in the tree. We're not going to film him. Oh, you've got IR, Sense? You got IR, eh? We can use IR to film him. That's going to be very sensitive. Okay, can you see him, Sense? It's just that little white spot there. There's the IR. Let's just get the focus. And there he is, in the middle of the screen. The male chin spot batis. He's decided to park out for the evening and roost, the typical passerine fashion, with their feet. His tailor just said she challenged me to chameleon, and then I saw something flash in the bushes there, and it was not a chameleon. It was in fact a very small bird. The male chin spot batis. You can see that by the black band on the chest, and it lacks the brown patch underneath the chin, hence the name chin spot. And you can see how he's sitting, how he's got his feet underneath him, and he's leaning back on the sort of knee joint, you would call it. And in a passerine, the 3 toes forward, 1 toe back, that motion of sitting actually locks the foot. So, for example, if I had to go and flick him, he would spin around that like the cartoon canaries, you've seen those before. Not that anyone would go and do that, but as they relax their foot or their body, their feet clamp up, and it prevents them from falling out of a tree, which is exactly what he's doing now on the edge of a little branch there. Looks like a bush willow of sorts, I think a red bush willow. And he'll spend the night there until it's bright enough in the morning to catch insects. Marvelous. He's blinking. Fantastic. That's the first time I've seen a chin spot batis at night, and first time I've seen a bird like that with infrared light. So those of you who are not familiar with infrared light, it's looking at a very low spectrum. The camera's picking up the light. There's no light on the bird at all that it can see, and it's not affecting them. We're not spotting it. We're not shining anything in its eyes, and it is perfectly safe and perfectly natural. There we go. You can see how that is just the infrared that turned off there, but it's completely invisible. Okay, well, I was talking about Luke. He's working in the D2. He's fielding all your questions, sending them through. And Conrad is the techie. He's in charge of all of the tech-related stuff with Jared and Alex, who you've probably heard of before. In a row, we were running, and Luke spotted a chameleon yesterday morning, crossing the road, and then again this morning, crossing the road right in front of us. I think I was focus on my breathing that I hadn't seen a chameleon in our path. But marvelous, and I believe a chameleon in the day as 2 chameleons. So, Taylor, we've seen 2 chameleons in 2, so that means 4. Ha! How about that? But don't worry, I'll see if I can find another chameleon for you. We're just doing a little bit of a river road sort of bumble here. We're going to make sure I also keep my spotlight down on the ground for the big and hairies that we would love to introduce to you for the last half hour of the show. A little bit of movement from the likes of Tundi or anyone really. It would be marvelous to see a cat. It's been some days now, but I think it's marvelous for vegetation to punk and rock music. What a marvelous name. I am not sure how many days it's been without a cat. I don't know. I think the last one was Tristan on Saturday, I think. So in the greater scheme of things, in lodges I've worked at in my life before, we've gone weeks without seeing leopards, and it was kind of normal. But I suppose when you come to a place like the Sabi Sands, leopards seem to come out of the woodwork all over the place. So I think we start getting a little bit sort of, what do we talk about if we don't find the cats? But that's okay. I quite like the fact that it's quieter. It makes us appreciate the busier times a bit more, and it also shows you folks back home how things can be different here, and it's not always roses or rosettes, should I say. We quite often don't find too much out here, and when it's green like this, it's just the time of year, and the finding of animals is a lot harder to do. So let's go over to Taylor and see how her chameleon search is coming along.
VM and I are making those noises that you make when you go over corrugations. That's all we seem to be able to do. Kirsten, our signal's going to get a bit, as we're just literally about to enter the Mulwati. We have to go through it in order to start going home, but bear with us. Maybe tonight will be our lucky day and we make it through. All okay. Okay, hold your breaths. Oh my goodness, Steve has found a leopard. Let's go to him.
We have indeed. It looks like we're wearing our lucky pants today, and who is this? Kirsty's think it's Hosana. There's 3 spots on the left, but it looks like a female to me.
It's Hosana.
You think it's Hosana?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Sens also thinks it's Hosana. I am not 100% sure.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks like Hosana to me as well. Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it just takes time. It takes patience, and you will find the spotted cats if you look hard enough. Last minute leopard. Well, this is my favorite cat after all, Sammy Jane, and last minute leopard. It is the way it happens out here, and we have broken this spell of no cats. Well, as we follow him, if he's going to walk down the path, he is walking directly in the road. There he goes. Are you sure he's Hosana, eh? It kind of looks like Hosana to me, but I need to... I mean, had the 3 and the 3, which is very characteristic of the little chief. And he is going to go directly into a very difficult drainage system here. Please don't go in there, Hosana. Oh, what's he looking at? I'm going to switch off. Look at his tail. He's very interested in something, very excited. Very difficult drainage system to go into now. What has he spotted? Okay, I'm going to hold off speaking. Lose his visual for a moment, but he's definitely stalking. So we're not going to do anything, we're just going to listen. can't see anything. I don't want to disturb him, whatever it is he's doing. Joy, it could be a scrub hare, could be a duiker. Perfect habitat for both. There, something's running. Something just ran up ahead here. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Hold on, everybody. Sounded like something quite large running. It definitely was not a scrub hare. There's a duiker just over here. Don't know if he spotted that. More branches breaking just off to my left here. Definitely sounded like something bigger than a duiker that was moving. I'm just going to move in there again very quietly. Very difficult drainage to get into here if he has come this way. He definitely chased something. It might have been the second of the duiker pair, which is often quite plausible. But this drainage is very difficult to navigate. So we're going to see if we can get around and try find an opening. How exciting was that, though? The anticipation of just sitting and waiting. While we do that, let's go over to Taylor.
Very cool, Stivovo. Well done for breaking the curse. I think it's because you mentioned it. And, well, you do have a good aura about you now, don't you? So very nice, very nice. Where is, Kirsten, where is that young fella, Hosana? Where is he walking around? It'd be just interesting to know whereabouts he is. So we are on Shibamu Road now, and east of the Mulwati. Luckily the Mulwati is very long. North of the southern boundary. Okay. So maybe it was Hosana's tracks yesterday. Remember yesterday afternoon before we got sent back on bushwalk, we did have some male leopard tracks. And I thought that they were sort of between game drives, but then I got confused with the lion tracks and I stopped looking. So I think it may have been Hosana that was moving around, and they're very nice. But many animals walking here. Sorry, VM. I didn't see that. I was too busy looking at all the hippo tracks. I got excited. I couldn't work out what was going on the floor. I then made a branch hit VM or catch the car. But looked like there was like a family of hippos walking down here, big ones, small ones. Now, I'm excited about Shibamu Road. The reason why I'm excited about Shibamu Road is because I've seen honey badgers before, but the grass is very tall. So it's best to be live with us, because if we're going to see them, it's going to be quick. Vim, was I not with you when we saw those honey badgers here? Do you remember that? I don't know who was on camera with me. I can't remember. Maybe Craig. So yeah, so they ran out. It was really cool. And then we lost them in the grass. But maybe they're still around. Who knows? So we'll keep scanning for them. No luck on chameleons. Maybe I've lost my title of chameleon queen. Do you know what the real test is going to be? We're going to see how many chameleons Tristan sees in the Mara. And how long it's going to take him before he sees his first flap neck chameleon. I was lucky I saw so many towards the end. It was really quite nice. I have to try and remember and tally up how many chameleons I saw. I saw a lot while I wasn't off air. I mean, while I wasn't live, while I was off air is what I was supposed to say. I'm surprised we haven't seen a chameleon. It's nice. Jilly, something I saw the other day was a southern white-faced scops owl. So I suppose, yes, there's a white-faced owl for you. We don't really get any others that have got the name white-faced owl in it, other than the southern white-face scops owl. But then I suppose barn owl's got a bit of a white face too, hasn't it? And sort of a grass owl. Yeah, grass owl, marsh owl. Marsh owl? No, they're quite dark around the eyes. But yes, we do. And it was like the first one I'd seen in such a long time. I saw it on Inyala Road South, which is not a great road, unfortunately. Plenty gremlins around. So we didn't see it for very long, but I did get a picture. I don't have the picture with me at the moment. It's somewhere on the computer. And maybe someone will share an image with you, because I did show it off the back of my camera. Okay, this is Chameleon Central now. There are always chameleons here on these bush willows. Well, I say always, watch, there won't be one. Scenic, yes, honey badgers are exceptionally hard to find. And especially with the tall grass that's around at the moment. I mean, they could just run in the grass. They're quite long, but they're not very tall. So the grass conceals them quite nicely. And Tristan and I were talking about this. We don't really know why you see more honey badgers down in the south versus honey badgers up here. I don't know if it's food. I mean, I used to see them almost every single evening. Briefly, but they'd be feeding out on rhino middens and digging for larvae and beetles and all sorts of things that have been living in the rhino middens. Maybe because there's not so many active rhino middens at the moment up here, that's why we're not seeing them. I don't know. We also used to see lots of aardvark down south, and this is and serval too, lots of serval. The density of wildlife down there is amazing. I think we see more leopards up here though in the north than we do in the south. So it's all quite interesting how that all works out, eh? I haven't seen a Janet for a while either. Genevieve hasn't even come back to camp. That's our Camp Janet. She comes through every now and then. But nothing just yet. I'm not winning tonight in terms of small nocturnal critters. The hippos were amazing. I think that was definitely my highlight for the drive, is watching all those hippos mouth one another and push each other around. It's always really sweet to watch them play. Right. Hosana seems to have given Steve the slip. But let's go and see if you all bring him luck and he'll pop out again.
I would love you to bring me luck. We didn't manage to get into that drainage depression there. There's a nyala hiding in the bushes. We've come around a little bit to see if we can maybe find, maybe he missed whatever it was he was chasing, and he continued on his sort of path. We went back to the road, but we were unfortunate or unlucky so far. But it's so exciting to find him. He is my favorite leopard, and seeing him is always very special. He just looked so nonchalant, you know. Normally he at least gives me a bit of a smile, you know. But today, after in the believe they're certain. Yeah, well, we seem to be losing signal. Taylor.
Oh no, sorry about that, everybody. Goodness gracious. Just when we thought the technical gremlins were okay, they're not, but I think it's just a bad signal area that Steve's in at the moment. Bromit, this is a tricky one. I don't know if I prefer night drives over daytime drives or daytime drives over night drives. What did I see? I'll answer your question now. But it's a large fruited bush willow fruit. No, I can't even see what I was looking at anymore. Okay, we'll just call it a large fruited bush willow fruit. You see different things, you know. You have great sightings, of course, of all the diurnal animals. So zebra and giraffe, really amazing. You have great sighting of hippo in the water, you know, just before sunset. That's the best time, we know. And then at night you get to see some really cool things that you don't often get to see. But the amount of hours that I have spent, or Brent has spent, or James, or Tristan, or Steve, and Ralph, you name it, have spent out in the bush at night, in comparison to the things that you see during the day, you come up sort of second best there. Everybody wants to go on a night drive when they come on a safari, and I say to my guests, listen, if you're wanting to go out on a night drive, come with an open mind, because the chances of us going on a night drive and driving for 3 hours and not seeing even an owl is very, very likely. I can't tell you how many drives like that I've had. You might see a scrub here or two, and that's all, and some thick knees, some night jars, and then you can forget it, and then that's all you'll see. I've even had it where I haven't seen not even one thing on a night. I think we saw a daker, and that was it. Run quickly. So night jars night drives are tough ones. And then I've had some amazing drives where you'll have like lions taking down a predator, awesome, taking down some prey or something along those lines, and then you'll also have an owl, a really amazing owl sighting, and then a snake trying to get the last of the warmth of the road. That insect just flew straight into my forehead. At least it wasn't my eye, so there's a positive. So it really just depends. And you see chameleons and bush babies and genets and all these cool things, aardwolf and brown hyenas. I had the coolest game drives, I must say, night drives in particular down in the Eastern Cape, because there were so many things. The only thing we didn't see down there was bush babies, so that was sad. You missed out on them. And the southern dwarf chameleon is exceptionally sort of rare. You don't see them very often. I've only seen a handful of them, not quite as common as the flat-necked chameleon. So yeah, so much of a muchness really. It depends. If you can be really, really patient and drive around and hope and just be positive and keep scanning, then maybe you'll get lucky. But then again, sometimes you have those drives during the day, don't you, where you just see absolutely nothing. Those can happen during the day too. They're not just restricted to nighttime drives. Anything is possible. Just like now. Maybe someone's going to jump out. Carol, you've said that you hope that Tristan has left his scorpion light behind. I hope so. I don't know how powerful his one is. Normally they're not very powerful, in the sense that you can sort of drive around like this and spot them. VM, do you know of any scorpion lights like that? No. Typically you have to find a scorpion if it's out here, and then go up to it. Otherwise, if you walk from tree to tree and shine it at a close proximity, yes, then it reveals lots and lots of scorpions. But I would love it if you could get an industrial powered UV light like that was just like the spotlight. That would be quite amazing. In fact, would we see the chameleon bones? We still need to test that out. Is that how we'd spot the chameleons then? I haven't seen any scorpions other than the ones that are the olivaceous scorpions and the Europlectes species, the one that I got zapped by a few weeks back. Most days when you roll out your exercise mat, there will be one curled up in it. I don't know if it's the same one. It just enjoys living in those mats and enjoys the attention from us. But there's definitely lots around there. I haven't seen one come out on the road yet for a very long time. And speaking of it, I haven't seen any solifuge for a while. Come scrub here. Off you go, sir. Come on. Yes, you can go into the grass. Whee! Off you go. Okay. Let's see what else we can find. I'm going to try focus here, because this is the honey badger area. We're going to go around, and then we're going to turn onto the middle road and hope that we get the honey badgers. Ravinda, no, it's not possible to do a bushwalk at night, not out here. Would be a very stupid thing to do. You would get eaten, or you'd get trampled by something. So we don't do bushwalks for that exact reason. Predators look at you very differently than how they look at you during the day. Scrub hair, actually, you guys are just ridiculous. Get off of the road. Nightmare. It everywhere, like rodents all over. And That's maybe one thing that I think safari guides get annoyed with, the scrub hairs, and then them not wanting to move, whether you dim your lights or not to let them. They still run like they've got nowhere else to go. So that's always quite funny. However, you know, there are places in rainforests that you'd be able to do bushwalks, you know, where there are no typically big dangerous creatures with big sharp teeth that want to eat you. Then you'd be able to. So like, I'd imagine going into like the Amazon in parts, it would be really quite cool to do a bushwalk and see all the different types of frogs and the spiders. Yeah, I wouldn't be really excited. I'd like to look at them though, but I wouldn't want to touch them. And all the other creepy crawlies that come out at night. Now, I apologize that you have to listen to me babble on like this. Steve, unfortunately, has no signal, so I don't know if he's still with Hosana or what the story is over there. But he's just not going. He might not come back. He might have to stay out in the bush. He might have to stay out in the bush for, well, the rest of his life if he doesn't find Hosana. And we're not going to bring him dinner. He'll have to forage and live out there. Okay, now we're going to go onto Untitled Access, and we're going to jump onto the middle road of quarantine and hope that the honey badgers are waiting there for us. Very quiet out here, just the insects making a noise. Come on, chameleon, please save us. Please rescue us. Deathly quiet. Oh, let's go to Ralph.
Hosana's right here. Found him. Just scrub here, right next to our car. I'm going to move forward. He's just come out. We managed to. Can you see him, Senzi? Look at that. Sorry about the excitement as we're coming along the road towards Twin Dams. He just came out of the drainage exactly where I was anticipating. Can't say that I'm a genius at this, but we have very lucky. Am I okay to come home now? It's a signal. That was all very exciting.
Sorry about that again, everybody, but how exciting that Hosana got a meal. Whoop whoop. We are just on the middle road of quarantine, and hopefully we'll get these honey badgers, otherwise you're just going to have to listen to me talk about absolutely nothing, because there's nothing here. Come on, animals! Where's the white-tailed mongoose? I'd want to see a white-tailed mongoose more than a honey badger. Maybe if I say that, the honey badgers will come out. I'm going to drive this road because I think this is the road Tristan had them on the last time. They must be living somewhere here in some cavity, but where, I don't know. Plenty of places that they could be living. I got excited. I thought I'd seen something. Okay, well, let's give this a bash again. Let's go back to Steve, otherwise you'll be back with me.
Well, he's moved out of the little bad area. We're now up on the dam wall. We might... Edward Grove over here on the right. Maybe he will reveal himself to us in the...
Oh my goodness. Steve Wolfer, I think you must just come home and leave that leopard. This is probably not a good spot to be viewing him. Obviously. My goodness, there's eyes everywhere you look. 360 degree view of all the animals. There's the wildebeest. Vim, I promise you are going to scare yourself if you look what's to the left of you. Look at how we've been watched. I think I just heard a wildebeest sneeze. There they are. Hello, wildies. And impala, one sitting. What is wrong with me tonight? One sitting down for the evening. My goodness. I must be slightly dehydrated or something with the fact that I cannot even talk anymore this evening. Perhaps it's bedtime. Maybe I must just sign with my hands. I wish I knew sign language, because I think that would probably be an easier option. Oh. What happened there? I just heard a clash of horns. I don't know what. It was clashing horns, if it was the wildebeest or if it was the impala. I can still hear it. Can you? I don't know what it is, but it's coming to the right of us. Oh, well. Oh, it is impala. There they are, Liam. Right in front of us. 12 o'clock. Keep going, keep going. There we go. Those two impala rams are fighting with one another. But very exciting. And what a fantastic afternoon, with Hosana sneaking in as a last-minute leopard, breaking the catless safaris. But we'll see you tomorrow morning for the sunrise safari.